What's up, everybody? Y'all doing good? Good deal. What's up, Tammy, Nicole? What's up, Suzanne? Y'all closing deals? Building that pipeline? Yeah. So I normally wait for people to jump on the call, but I've got another appointment, so they're gonna have to watch the replay. So thank you guys for being on time. We're gonna start here in exactly 1 minute, and we're gonna get this show on the road. How's everyone doing? Get some sound in here.
Good.
I muted everybody. Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Rocking and rolling today?
Yep.
Good deal, good deal. Nicole, what you doing, girl?
Oh, I just finished my taxes, turning in my taxes.
Oh.
So that is, I haven't been able to do anything else.
You know when I do my taxes? That's called October the 14th. Because I always owe money and I hate the IRS. But I should be doing it on April 15th. I get you. But I procrastinate on that. So good. Kudos for getting that done. All right. So we are going to go ahead and start. Let me go ahead. And we don't have many people, a lot of background noise. So I'll go ahead and leave the mics open. All right. So I'm going to show you a tip that I've done in the past to get referrals. All right. So this is out of the box type thinking, but you guys know me by now. I'm the out of box type of guy. All right. So check it out. So this is what I do. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Da-da-da. All right. So I come up with this system called Tic-Tac-Dough. And here's how Tic-Tac-Dough works. First of all, you've got to get the referral when you're at the closing table. If you wait until after the closing table, it is not going to work as well as it's going to work right now. So first things first. Show up to the closing with a gift. Make sure it's something nice. Typically, I always get a big, humongous house plant, whatever I can get for about.
I'm on a video webinar.
Hold on, I'm going to, now I got to be people.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so what I do is I bring the biggest plant that I can possibly find. And it's called it's the law of, and I always slaughter this name. It's reciprocity. When you give something to someone, they're inclined to give something back to you, right? So what I do is I give them this big gift, and then when we're at the end of the closing and they've signed the last line and I've given them their keys, I say, hey, thank you so much for your business. I hope that I've exceeded all your expectations. I hope you enjoyed the closing gift. I was wondering who you know that might be interested in buying or selling property. And then take this and make it in NVR form where it's carbon copied, right? So you write on it and you have like the yellow copy and the white copy and slide it to them. All right, so here's how this works. You want to ask them for 9 names and numbers of people that they know that may be interested in buying or selling real estate. If you, the best thing to do is to hand it to them, be assumptive, and tell them to get out their phone and go through the Rolodex. Say, hey, referrals are the lifeline of my business. I hope I've done a good job for you and you know someone else that I might be able to help in the future. If you'll go ahead and fill this out for me, that'll be great. And stare at them like this. And they'll do it. All right, so here's how this works. So they're going to give you 9 names and numbers. Now, this is going to be state specific, broker specific, or whatever, because you're supposed to give out referrals. But I would give out a $25 gift card for every X and a $500 gift card if they actually get a Tic-Tac-Dough. So here's how this is beautiful. So they're going to fill this thing out for you, right? So let's say you talk to this person right here and it's an X. And the rest of these are O's and this one's an X. So you got 2 people off of this card that ended up doing a business with you. So you call this person back and say, hey, Johnny, I got some good news and some bad news for you. And they're going to say, what's the good news? Hey, say the good news is I'm about to send you 2 gift cards for $25 each. So I'm going to send you 50 gift cards, 50 of the gift cards because Johnny and Mark here decided to do business with me. But the bad news is Susan right here decided not to do business at this time. But if she would have, you would have made an extra $500. But we don't like any losers in my game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the option to replace her name with a brand new one. Now, your mind should be thinking right now. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute everyone because I want to get some feedback on this. All right, unmute. Now, what kind of name are they going to give you for right here?
Oh, they're going to give you the good name.
They're going to give you the good name. That's exactly right. 9 times 9 is 81. You play this card every single month. So what you do is you hand this card to them in NCR paper. They get a copy, you get a copy, they put it on the fridge. And then every month you call them and give them the updates. And then every single month, give them a chance to replace those X's with an O, and you work this card until the whole darn card is full. It gives them business. I mean, it gives them extra money and makes it fun, and you get more referrals than you possibly imagine by making it entertaining and a game. You guys like that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. So I will give you the download link to be able to download this. Again, I don't want you to get into trouble with your state or your broker. I'm more of a ask for forgiveness type guy than permission. I've never had a problem with it, but I talked to agents about this before. They go, well, my state, you can't do that. I'm like, hey, okay, whatever. But it works extremely, extremely well. Now, another thing I want to talk about real quick is why it's so important. Now, according to the National Association of Realtors, because I love statistics, what would you say the number one reason that people do not get referrals is?
They don't ask for them.
That's exactly right. They don't ask for them. So there's nothing more than a client that you just were able to help for them to be in a position to give you referral business. Now, next week, we're going to talk about another technique on contacting your existing customer base after the closing on a regular basis and what to say to them to get them to want to for you to remain top of mind awareness. But here's where I'm going with this. Let's pretend, Tammy, I'm gonna pick on you because you're engaging with me. What's your average commission where you're at? What's your average sales point?
The average about 300.
Right, so you're gonna make $9,000 a closing, right?
Yep.
Okay, so check this out. So let's say I'm on the interview. Who is that? Ah!
Nicole.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's Stephanie. Got her. Haha, got her. All right, Tammy. So you're making $9,000 per now. Everyone, watch how simple this is. Okay, so if all she did was through the bot or whatever, she closed 12 transactions the first full 12 months of using this. She averaged 1 transaction a month. I hope she does more than that, but let's say that's all she did. And she made $9,000 a pop. All right, so her first year, she's going to make $108,000. If she got 1. Now, first of all, I'm not no one to sneeze at 100 grand. 100 grand, that's 100 grand. But watch how powerful this is. Let's say in year number 2, Tammy, your closing skills didn't get any better. They will, but let's pretend they did it. You stayed even keel and you did 12. But you got 1 referral from each one of the ones that you did the previous year, and they gave you 1 referral. So now you're at 12 because you didn't get any better. You just did 12.
Right.
But you got 12 referrals from the previous year. So now you did 24 transactions. 24 transactions at $9,000 a pop. Now we're talking. So now you're year 2 into this. Year 3, you still don't get any better. But you get 1 referral per year off of the 24. So you see where I'm going at. By the end of year 3, you're doing 36 transactions a year at $9,000 a pop. Now you're making some money. And you didn't get any better, but you will. So the point is I'm illustrating, make sure that when we're dealing with audiences, there's a few types of audiences. You have a cold audience and you have a warm audience. A cold audience is the hardest ones to work. Those are the ones that do not know who you are. You're a stranger. When I was first introduced to you, you were a cold audience. Now that you've got to know me, you're a warmer audience. Still have people that are still cold, but hey. We have warm audiences and we have hot audiences, right? Once you develop trust with people, they will do business with you. So these people that you've done business, that you helped through the process to buy a house, they're going to refer you someone. That person becomes a warm audience because they were referred, because someone referred them. So when you call that customer and say, "Hey, Bob, this is Amanda. I was speaking to your friend Bobby, who said that you may be interested in buying a house. I helped him buy his house. Did you see that? Did you help him move in?" And that's a whole different conversation than calling a cold internet lead. So the point is you can focus all your energy on getting these leads to come in and then transitioning your focus to really working that sphere of influence and working that warm market, opposed to always getting cold leads. Now, I have to admit something. My first 3 years in the business, I totally sucked at this because all I was trying to do was close transactions. So like I would close a deal and you never heard from me. And like 2 years later, I call you up and like, "Hey, time to list your house." And I'm like, "Who are you?" Right? Or even worse, you look them up in the MLS system like 3 years later and they've already sold with somebody else. Like, what? So I changed that. So now I literally call all my customers a bare minimum of once a quarter. I do the Tic-Tac-Dough thing. It seems to work extremely well. And I go out and I actually visit my customers. So I know I have on my phone on Google Maps, I have a map pin where all my customers are at. So if I'm out and about, normal day business, showing property, whatever, if I'm near a customer's house, I'll see it on the map and I'll swing by just to say hi. So I'm always staying in contact with my customers, and I keep cookies and brownies in my truck. So if I'm driving by and I notice I happen to be near so-and-so's house, I will swing by and say, "Hey, just in the neighborhood, thought I'd bring you some brownies," boom, and be done. Just to keep that relationship going. And once I started doing that, it made all the difference, because then I started getting a bunch of darn referrals because I was actually being personable and they didn't think I was just in it for the money, which at first I was just in it for the money. So, cool. So I'm going to unmute everyone to see if you guys have any questions. It's kind of short and sweet today, but that is jam-packed and powerful. All right, let's see here. Unmute all. Right, does anyone have any questions about how to do this?
Where do we get the link to the form?
Yeah, hold on one second. Let me get that for you right now. Let's see here. Tic-Tac-Dough. All right, share. Great link. Copy link. Cool. All right, I'm going to put it in the chat right now for everyone. And when I repost this, I'll put it in there too. All right, so you check your chat. It should be in there.
Yep.
And then I haven't had any of these made in a long time. I had like 1,000 of them made, so I have like almost a lifetime supply. But I'll try to find the printer that I use to have them done in the carbon paper. All right, any other questions about how to do this? Or referrals in general?
Pretty simple.
Yeah, it's simple. But most importantly, it works. And it's fun. And it keeps them engaged. Now, the hardest part, now I can tell you, I've been training agents for over a decade. If I tell 10 agents to do this, how many actually do it?
Maybe one.
Yeah, one or two. That's right. But so let's look at the bridge. Why is that? Are they did they forget? Are they just not forward enough? Too embarrassed to? You gotta look. My client. I'll tell you what. My clients know beyond a shadow of a doubt that if they don't give me referrals, I don't eat. I say it nicely. But I let them know that referrals are the absolute lifeline of my business. If I've done a good job for you, I hope that if someone brings you real estate, make sure that you let them know about me. But also what I'm doing is throughout the year, I'm added extra value. So I'll give you a preview of what's coming in on the previous trainings. As an example, I think I mentioned this before, so you've heard it before, I apologize. But I have a list of service providers. And like I have a list of people like landscapers. And what I do is I call my clients at the beginning of spring and let them, just thank them again for the business, see how things are going. I keep immaculate notes, so I know the dog's name is Buster and the kid's name is Little Bobby and Little Susan. So when I'm having those conversations, I'm like, hey, how's Bobby? How's Susan? She should be in the 4th grade now. How's Buster? How's he like the yard? I'm very personable. But then I say, hey, I wanted to run something by you real quick as an added value for my clients. Just because we closed our transaction doesn't mean our relationship stops. I have a relationship with a landscaper, and he's willing to come out to my clients' homes, and he'll pull out all the weeds and the flower beds for free for an entire hour. Now, he's available on Wednesday or Thursday. One of those days would be good for them for him to come by. Now, how is that a win-win for the landscaper?
How they likely gonna hire him for more.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So they're going to quote them mulching and bushes and all that stuff. But if they get there and just pull weeds for an hour, good. So I have that. I have an entire Excel spreadsheet of service providers that you guys should be looking into. People that clean deck, clean pools, people that do tax accounting, people that if you're in a snow area, people that can shovel snow. And that way you should have all these people in your repertoire. And that way, when you're reaching out to your clients on a minimum recorded basis, having those conversations, you're always trying to throw and add value, and add value. Another thing that I do is I use a system called Send Out Cards. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So every single customer that I close, they go into a post-closing campaign, period. And my post-closing campaigns does a couple things. I take about $100 off every closing and set it aside for post marketing for that client for the next 24 months. So this is what I do. The first thing I do is I send a FedEx box to their work. Now you're like, how did you get the work address? I take it off the loan application at the closing table. Right? So what I do is I have a box, and it shows up to their work. They're not expecting it. And when they open the box, there's a helium balloon. The helium balloon goes up in the air, and a big sign that says "Congratulations on your new home." And then there's some confetti and stuff in the box. And then what do all the employees say, or all the coworkers? What is that? Our house. And then inside the box are flyers, and we ask them to put one of those flyers on the board of work. So that's the first thing I do. The second thing that I do is I have a send out card campaign for 12 months. And I just put them in that campaign. So every single month, my clients get a new card. Every single month. All right. So, and you say, well, what do the cards say? I get quirky with my cards because I'm trying to get them to wonder, what the heck is the Wayne going to do next? As an example, in April, I developed a card that says, never talk to me again. I don't want to ever speak with you. And they open it up and it says, April Fools, your referral is the lifeline of my business. In January, I sent out a card that says, Happy Merry After Christmas card. And I'm doing that throughout the year. I'll give you guys templates of all the things that I've done. And you just fund the account, put their name and address in there, hit go, and let Send Out Cards do its thing. That way, every single month, they're getting a new card from you in the mail, and you're staying top of the mind awareness.
Yeah, that would be great if you could share your campaign.
Yeah.
Send out cards.
Yeah. Well,
Like, you know, trying to figure out, even though the cards are already pre-made,
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard just to figure out what to put in there.
Yeah, I made custom campaign, and I made all my images are custom images. So
Okay.
they're a little more consistent now because they're custom. But I was like you, I was like going through all the cards. I couldn't really pick nothing. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make it cards.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll get those out real soon for you guys. But the most important part there is actually doing it. You know, because you know, we get busy, and you're not gonna think about that customer 3 months from now, 4 months. No, you're really not. So I have 3 virtual assistants in my business, and one of my VAs actually does that. So if there's a whole post closing process, if you will, and that post closing process, she knows to go in there and initiate a send out card campaign, and it's just kind of taken care of. So that's something else that may be coming out later on in this year is how to find and train your VA if you want a VA. My girl has been with me for about 8 years now, and she's $3.50 an hour, and honestly, she's probably the best assistant I've ever had in my entire life. She actually works hard. So you can find them out there, but the challenge is getting them trained. So I kind of got a checklist in a way that I hire and, you know, go through processes when I'm looking to add someone to the team. So that might be something to come out soon to help you guys if you're at that stage of your business where you want to hire a virtual assistant. And people ask me, you know, what stage should you do that? When you're doing mundane work that's not making you any money. There's red zone and green zone activities. What that means is if it's a money producing activity, it's in the green zone. That's like showing houses and getting face to face in front of buyers and sellers, and that's pretty much it. Or on the phone talking to someone about buying or selling real estate. Because there's only 2 ways you're making money in this business. You're either on the phone talking to someone about buying or selling real estate, or you're in person talking to someone about buying or selling real estate. The rest of the time you're making money, right? So if you get to a point where you can afford to pay for VA, then let them do all that paperwork and stuff that you don't want to do. Does anyone here use a contract to close coordinator, or do you know what that is?
I usually just do it myself.
Okay, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cool. Here's my counsel to you, Tammy. You're not closing enough transactions.
I know I'm not.
Yeah, if you're doing 5 or 6 transactions a month, you don't want to touch paperwork.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I can say, when I first started using some contract to close people, I'm a control freak when it comes to my paperwork. So like totally, you know, my license on the line type stuff. You know, but I found a girl, and she's like kicks rear end. She's really good. She charges $350 a file. I went through the whole. I don't want to lose $350. I pass that on to my buyers and my sellers. I write in the buyer's agency agreement that buyer to pay $350 for contract to close. When they ask me what that's about, which is rare, but sometimes they call me out and say, "What's this $350?" I say, "That's because of the privilege to work with me." You know how you call me at 5 o'clock in the afternoon after I've settled in for the day because the house just came on the market. You want to go out and see it, and I drop everything and cancel my dinner plans, my family, go run and show you a house. That's why.
Yep.
And they have no problem with it. Sellers, every now and then I'll eat it on a seller. But the point is I in the last 4 years, I think I've only actually paid for like 4 or 5 contract to close. The rest of them I just passed on to the sellers, and it's never been a problem. Also, with the buyer, you can always say, "Hey, look, we're going to get it included in closing costs." So, you know, if your loan officer tells me that you need $2,000 in closing costs, then we're going to make your closing costs, you know, $2,350, and then get paid on the settlement statement. All right, so that's it, guys, for this one. Let's get any questions for me. I hope you guys are doing well and get a bunch of leads. Tammy, how are your leads going?
I kind of put the campaigns on hold for a little bit because the ones that have been coming in, you know, some of them I've sent over to the lender, but then they just kind of disappeared. So, you know, they got in process with the lender, but now I can't get a hold of them. The lender can't get a hold of them. So it's been a little bit slow on getting, you know, anybody actually qualified to do anything.
Yeah. So sometimes people just go get incognito on you. There's not too much we can do about that. Make sure they get into your branding group.
Yeah, I need to work on that.
As a general rule of thumb, everyone's doing a very poor job at doing that. That's where the money is made. Assad recently just did a couple lives and had 2 buyers reach out to him after he did the live in his branding group that raised their hand and said, "Hey, I want to fill out the loan application now."
Okay.
So
awesome.
any opportunity you have, if you're out with a buyer, you're taking a listing present, if it's real estate related, you need to be going live in your group. Now,
okay.
there needs to be people in your group, right? Because they get to know who you are and then you start branding yourself as the one to contact when they're ready. So,
okay.
So what about Suzanne? How's your leads going?
Similar to Tammy's, I just signed up with BombBomb, so I'm gonna hit them with BombBomb videos this week. I have about 3 or 4 with the lender. They kind of disappear on them too. And I've actually picked somebody up that I'm in conversation with from the poll that we did last week.
Oh, good.
So trying to get her on the hook, but they don't want to buy till the end of the year. So, but it's all about filling the pipeline, right?
It's always about filling the pipeline. Absolutely. Are you posting daily or at least every other day?
No, I have only actually run the first bot, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, and I got so many leads that I checked them before I hit them again. So I want to run a seller's bot this week, but I think got to go through the training first one more time.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah, I mean, just keep those leads going, and because in the mix of all those, you're going to find the laydowns. You know, we like the laydowns, the ones that say, "Oh yeah, let me go buy a house right now," and the loan officer, communicates and they actually respond, and they got 640 scores and they're ready to go. They're intermingled in there too. I promise you, they're there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right. So if you need help with that seller campaign, if you get stuck, you know what to do. Just reach out to us. Okay.
I will.
Okay. All right, Jasmine, are you walking? What you doing, girl?
Yeah, I'm out walking the baby so he can get some vitamin D.
Yeah, I hear you. How's your leads going?
Well, no leads yet, but I plan on running my first campaign this weekend.
All right, so you have not done a campaign yet, right?
No.
Okay, buckle up.
Okay.
Because when you do, they will start flowing. Trust me.
Good. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, if you're in there and you have any problems, just reach out to support and we'll help you out. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to get this posted for you guys. Make sure that you download the Tic-Tac-Dough sheet. And on your next closing, I look forward to you guys letting me know how it went approaching them. And as we end all sessions, remember that as modern digital agents, when things change, and they will, we learn, we adapt, and we overcome. You guys have a good day.